What's up? Hey, what's good? What's poppin'? I am Miss Berry. Welcome back to my channel. I appreciate you guys for sliding through and coming to kick it with me. As you guys can see from the title, I'm getting back up into this Thomas Sowell. Now, this is Thomas Sowell's shocking solution to eliminate racism completely. Intellectuals and insights. So, I'm not really gonna do too much talking. I'm excited, so let's get into it. All right, y'all. So let's press this play button.
Quote, few subjects produce more fallacies than race. Among
I noticed that he do a lot of interviews with what's his name? Peter? Am I correct? Peter. I'm pretty sure the name will pop up. But he's written quite a bit of books that I feel like I need to get my hands on.
fallacies are that, now get ready, I'm going to give you a passage here. Race was the basis of slavery, that racism is the main reason for black-white differences in incomes and in all the other aspects of life that depend on income. Moreover, there is often an implicit assumption that racism and discrimination are so closely linked that they go up or down together. Now, what you have produced is a handful of outrages, and we'll take them one at a time. How's that? Race wasn't the basis of slavery?
Oh, it's a simple historical matter. Slavery existed for thousands of years, as far back as there are any records of human beings. Archaeological finds suggest that that slavery existed before human beings could read and write. So, but a racial difference between the slaves and the enslavers, that is a relatively new phenomenon. You didn't have in ancient times the ability to go to another continent and move millions of people of a different race across the ocean. So you enslaved the people who were nearby. The Europeans enslaved Slavs for centuries before they brought the first black African to the Western Hemisphere.
Okay, but so you're not suggesting, you do not wish to say anything other than that slavery as practiced in the United States was, it may have been recent, but you'd be willing to grant that it was particularly perverse and destructive because race got mixed into it at that point, right?
Race got mixed into it in the United States more than anywhere else for a very simple reason. The United States was founded, as the Declaration said,
I'm sorry, y'all.
Said all men are created equal.
Right.
If that's true, then the only way you can justify slavery is to say that some men are less than men.
I see. So the racial component.
But in Brazil, where Brazil imported more slaves than the United States, there was no such ideology. Brazil was not a democratic country. The whole issue never arose.
I see. I see. All right. Race doesn't account for differences in black-white income?
No, the differences between income between Western Europeans and Eastern Europeans is greater than the difference between blacks and whites in the United States. Differences in income are the rule, they are not the exception.
So
He's saying some stuff here that I'm like, like,
looking at all these sociological studies that show a persistent gap between African Americans in income and every other form of American in income is what? Useless? It tells us things that we don't need to know. It misleads us. How would you describe that?
Wrong, I think, sums it up. It is not true. Hispanics have a lower per capita income than blacks. Hispanic households and families have a higher income than black households and families, simply because the Hispanic families are larger.
that, and I know they work hard, okay? I'm not saying that we don't work hard, or should I say, I don't want to say anything the incorrect way, but I'm not discrediting or saying like, oh, nobody else works hard, but I'm just saying that they also, they do work really hard.
Now,
And they
this
do have a
last
lot of
assertion,
kids.
race and discrimination, you suggest, are not so closely linked that they move up and down together. First of all, distinguish the two, race and discrimination. discussed that.
racism is an attitude inside people's heads.
Right.
Discrimination is an overt act taking place outside in the real world.
Okay.
Okay.
Now, and so not only with blacks, but you find the same thing with Jews in previous centuries, that part of the United States where there was the most racism against blacks, namely the South,
Right.
is where black construction workers were much more common than they were in the North, right on into the 20th century. And most people are unaware that in the South, blacks were the construction workers. I remember a professor at Howard University saying that when he was a boy in the South, his father pointed to some man on the street and said, he was the first first white construction worker in this town.
And so what was going on there? The racism did not, so whites could think of blacks as somehow or other separate, but they'd still employ them because the market made it profitable to do so.
Yeah, in fact, yes. In fact, a law had to be passed to stop this because in the 20s, and particularly as the Depression got underway, black construction companies in the South using black non-union labor would come up to the North and underbid on government contracts, taking them away. And so this was very common to the point where they passed the Davis-Bacon Act, which said that on government contracts you must pay the prevailing wage, which translated almost invariably into the union wage.
Right. So your point on the distinction between racism and discrimination is, don't worry about racism. It's inside people's heads. You can't measure it. There's a strongly subjective, just forget about it, concentrate only on discrimination. And the best answer to discrimination is to let markets operate, because then people will discover, it will tend to militate against discrimination.
Oh, yes,
when people have skills to offer, they'll be employed. Whatever this notion of racism in people's heads is, don't worry about that. Is that right?
Yeah, what I'm saying essentially is that racists may prefer one race to another, but they prefer themselves to everybody else.
So they'll do what's profitable.
That's right. That's right.
Got it.
And
Okay.
that was even true in South Africa under apartheid, that there were hundreds of construction companies in South Africa that were fined in a government crackdown because they were hiring more blacks and in higher positions than they were allowed to under the apartheid law, because that was where the money was.
All right.
I'm learning that it's a lot of stuff about money. We're gonna end this right here. It's not really shocking, but maybe a little bit on, to just hear certain things that you've just known for like so long to be this or that, and then to hear that what you've known all of this time to be incorrect is like, the further along like you search, I'm learning that it's just certain stuff, certain information that I didn't know. And I'm not ashamed to say that I didn't know, because I didn't take the time to deep dive. Like, I knew certain things, but I didn't know enough like I should know, and I could just feel, my mind has y'all, why I can't talk? Maybe I need to go get hooked on phonics or something. I be trying to talk too fast, but like I can already feel my mind shifting. Like, it's not the same. I'm not thinking the same, and it's pretty interesting. So the more I'm diving into Thomas Sowell, the more I'm learning about certain stuff, the more I'm like, okay, let me go write this down so I could go look at this and that. So I feel like I'm in school, honestly. I feel like I'm in school, and I got my book out, and like I'm learning. So that's all that it's about. But guys, comment down below. Let me know what you want to see on this channel. Let me know, it does not necessarily have to be Thomas Sowell. It could be whoever you guys want me to react to on this channel. Just drop the link, or you could type out the recommendation. It don't really matter. If you want to just conversate and talk, we could do that as well. I love conversating with you guys. Is that even a word? Conversing is a word, not conversating. Y'all, anyway, I hope that you guys enjoyed this reaction video just as much as I enjoy reacting to it. Don't forget to thumbs up this video, like it up. And also, if you are not subscribed to my channel, what are you waiting for? Hit that red subscribe button and ring that bell so when I drop a new video, you will know, you won't miss it, and you'll be right here. Also, guys, if you want to check out this video, the original link, well, the link to the original video, I always say it backwards, will be in the description box listed down below. So you guys can check it out on your own time if you would like. Also, guys, as always, I appreciate you guys for coming and kicking it with me. But, you know, listening to me ramble on and stumble over my words and all of the above, y'all, like, I just need to slow down. But